Hi, it's Christine at the Sisyphean Journal. It's October 7th, and you know I'm always complaining that you just can't seem to get pro-choicers to care about whether a woman survives an abortion or not. Well, there is one circumstance in which they will absolutely get their knickers in a twist and scream from the rooftops about how this death was totally unacceptable and we can have zero more women dying like this, and that's if they can make political hay from it. And today is one of the deaths that they make political hay from. And they brought this out during the 2012 presidential campaign. And I'm going to share their little meme with you. Mitt would let me die again. Mitt Romney's sister-in-law, only 21, bled to death in 1963 after a botched abortion. Abortion was illegal at the time. Her horrible death was kept a secret, though her parents asked that donations be made to Planned Parenthood at the time of her death. If Romney has his way, other Ann Keenans will surely bleed to death in horrid pain and in humiliating secrecy. Why? Because Mitt does not think women should have the right to choose whether or not to have an abortion. Are we going to go back to 1963 and back alley abortions? Please do not vote for this backward man. Okay, now, first of all, I'm going to give him a walk on the fact that she did not bleed to death. Her death certificate says that she died from subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is a brain bleed, following septic, massively infected criminal recent abortion with septic thromboembolism pneumonia, meaning that some of that septic stuff from her uterus got into her lungs and caused an infection there. So, okay, she didn't bleed to death. She died from a horrible infection. Yes, she died a horrible death. I'm really sorry. It's a shame. Why does her death matter? Let's look at a couple of deaths that totally don't matter. Okay? Let's start with Tanya Reeves.
First, 24-year-old Tanya Reeves had an abortion, a D&E, dilation and evacuation procedure, at Planned Parenthood on Michigan Avenue at 11 a.m., according to documents. Then there was bleeding, and at 4:30 she was transferred to Northwestern, where she underwent another D&E, basically another abortion. That was at 5:30. Then pain and more tests, and one of those tests revealed a perforation, documents say. Then surgery at 12 minutes past 10 p.m. An uncontrollable bleed was found. Reeves did not regain consciousness and was pronounced dead at 11:20 p.m. in the operating room.
Okay, big snooze, big deal. Who but her family and a bunch of right-to-lifers could possibly care? I also noticed that this girl had not quite as pale a complexion as Ann Keenan. Don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. I think the fact that this doesn't make Planned Parenthood look good, does it? Oh, they're worried about all the anguish it causes. Let's look at another young woman who had an abortion at Planned Parenthood.
Where's your emergency?
It's cold.
Hello?
My daughter. She's dead.
What's your address?
No.
What's your address? Okay, what's going on?
She was sick.
She's what?
She was sick. What?
Huh?
What?
How old is she?
She's like 23.
Okay. Is she awake?
Okay, that's enough of this woman's anguish. Why is it that Cree here, again, doesn't have that nice pale complexion that Ann Keenan had, that her death just totally doesn't matter? Or was it that she had her abortion at Planned Parenthood? You know, the whole thing was, oh, we have to have abortion legal so that nobody dies a horrible death like Ann Keenan did. Meanwhile, they totally don't care about Tanya. They totally don't care about Cree. They don't care about Karnamaya Mungar. They don't care about Jamie Morales. They don't care about Jennifer Sudduth. I could list dozens and dozens of women just off the top of my head who died horrible, agonizing deaths that left their family just as bereft as Cree's mother was left. And they don't freaking care because they can't make political fodder out of it. They are totally indifferent to women dying the same kind of death that Ann Keenan died. They totally indifferent. They don't care. So next time they come at you with some woman, and the other thing is they have absolutely no idea who did Ann's death. Now, Ann's brother was married to the daughter of the governor. I think she would have had connections to find a doctor. 90% of pre-legalization abortions were done by doctors. They never bothered to find out before they started plastering her face all over the place who it was that did Ann's abortion. You want some other women whose deaths they don't care about? We have Mary Davies, who died of an illegal abortion, but it was performed by Dr. Robert Spencer, the Angel of Ashland. Oops, can't care about her. There was a woman named Jolene Griffith who died after an abortion performed by another hero abortion doctor before legalization. Big fat hairy deal. Who could possibly care? What's his name? Harvey Carman, that got all these laudatory obituaries when he died because he invented the Carman cannula, which did make abortion safer. They totally ignored the fact that he killed Joyce Johnson. Now, granted, he was not a doctor doing an abortion on her with a nutcracker in a motel room, but the fact that he killed this woman didn't dampen their enthusiasm for him, did it? It's not the fact that the woman dies. That's not what they care about. That's never what they care about. The only thing they care about is the politics. If Ann's abortion had been legal, they wouldn't have cared that she died. They totally wouldn't have cared. It's only because they could use her to try to beat Mitt Romney over the head on abortion that they cared. Whenever you hear this, you just remember they don't care about Cree, they don't care about Tanya, they don't care about any of these women that are dying now. It's not about whether women live or die. It's about politics.